Welcome back to another thoughtfully stimulating episode of Every Last Record, the music club for the purposeful listener. I'm your host, Joelle.
And I am Marcus, R.I.P. Cyrus Carmack Belton.
And I'm Paris Haven, a.k.a. Joe Hale Austin.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Flo. Go Knicks, baby.
Woo!
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zeus. Here to talk about music with my homies.
I'm Harley. Same thing.
Facts. Hell yeah.
Today, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite albums of 2023, Playing Robots into Heaven by James Blake. I asked everybody to think about the lyrics and the lack thereof of this album and see like what conversations you may have felt between the production and the lyrics. And yeah, I wanted to know what you guys thought about that.
I thought the production and the lyrics really worked well with each other in this album. I think you posed the question before of like whether we felt like they complemented each other or like kind of like fought against each other. But I felt like the lyrics, although there were few, kind of really helped to like push this like narrative along. That was mainly, yes, very production driven, but like the lyrics were just like little sprinkles of like thoughts or like things that like kind of got the ball rolling. Mm-hmm. So I think that's something that like worked very well together.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but to answer the question directly, yes, they complement each other very well. I think James Blake's vocals pierce through a lot of the production purposefully. There's been a couple times where I wasn't paying attention to the music and his vocals would come through and I would have to like replay the song again.
I love that.
On top of that, I also like, I know we haven't spoken about this, but I love the album cover, right? Like, I think the black and white gives you a good vibe as far as like what to expect. And then I read somewhere, I think I saw somewhere that like the whole point of the album is to like be about ascension, and it's like people walking with flags in black and white. Is it really robots?
It's
Robots,
yeah. I think it's actually like one of his like music machines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
He's carrying on his back because when I went to the concert, he actually had it on his back. And that's
tough.
That's how he entered.
This-
It was fire.
That's tough.
That's how he entered the stage. It was wild.
Yeah.
I think they do. I think the good thing about this album in comparison to like the ones that came out right before it is I read that James Blake he already kind of like completed the mission of being a great like singer-songwriter in his little era he had from like Assume Form to like I think the pinnacle he said was playing with friends. That the name of the album? Forgot the one right before.
Friends That Break Your Heart.
Friends That Break Your Heart. Yeah, I think that.
Friends.
Yeah, I combined two of the albums together. But he said that like on that album he reached the pinnacle of like songwriting. He wants to go back to like fully producing and making almost like going back to his days of being like a DJ in England. So he went back, kind of like regressed, but in a way that I think complements like the themes of this album, and they're very like I think a lot of it has to do with digital AI robots and stuff like that. So it's almost like to me, and I may be just like jumping the gun a little bit, but it kind of like those themes kind of like sound like the modern day Kid A in a way, and I think those albums kind of parallel each other.
Yeah.
So I do think I felt like the narrative that lyrically serves a point to the production, but I think the production definitely is the star and like the main character that James Blake was focused on.
1,000%. You'll catch the production before you catch anything else.
I feel like the production is the vessel for sure, but the lyrics, and I feel like maybe Harley, what you were saying is that you quite agree. I feel like the lyrics really add to the narrative that you already get
Yes.
on your own with the production. And also to your point about James Blake kind of like coming back to more of his like initial practice of music, which was really like, you know, it was a kind of like dubsteppy, like
post dubstep, yep.
Post dubstep, right? And a very electronic. He's a DJ, I think, first and foremost, which is funny because personally, my favorite aspect of his musicianship is his songwriting skills. That's definitely my favorite. I'm a really big lyrics person. which is why this was an interesting album for me. But people were like, you're kind of like getting back to your roots. And he was like, no, I'm actually like going somewhere new. Like, I'm no longer like in the space that I was in when I was making like Retrograde or CMYK, like all these records, which I thought was really interesting way to like talk about that because everybody else was interpreting it a little bit differently.
So you essentially doomed somebody who listened to this album and has never heard of James Blake. I've never heard of James Blake before. And this is the first and it's the first. This is your first time too?
No.
This is my first time.
Are you your first album you ever heard?
This is the first time.
Word.
Too.
Interesting.
Said that it was his first time listening to
Yeah.
James Blake.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This is a really interesting introduction to James Blake
Yeah,
because
Very.
it's like really him, but I actually think it's a cool one too. It's really not experimental exactly, even though there is a lot of experimenting with new machines. Like he's using a lot of modular synths,
Yes.
less lyrics, and like and some of this was like really old production, but yeah.
I had a good time. Like listening to the
That's
project.
good too.
Like,
I love that.
I did have a good time listening to it, even though it's the first time. I had to go back and listen to like all his other projects to kind of see where this fit into his catalog. And if I'm correct, like this is probably his album with the least amount of lyrics.
Yes,
sure.
probably.
For sure. Yes, for sure.
Gotcha. That's pretty cool.
One of the most controversials, right? Like the fans were kind of split on this.
So I heard that, but I've seen nothing but unanimous praise for it. Like obviously it's not rated as high as like the other ones, but I never heard anything negative about this album. A lot of people that got into his music early on, like I got into him during Overgrown, and for me, like he kind of lost me after the one before this. Like I kind of because I'm not somebody that is into singer songwriters. I am somebody that is into like ambient electronic, like that type of music that he was making and what he came up with. Because a lot of the Yeezus sound was like influenced by him too, and a bunch of other people. So yeah, James Blake and like Ye were like locked in for like years. So that's how I got into his music.
Great.
But
Writer, producer. He's written for a lot of people actually.
yeah,
too.
he has.
A lot of people. Yeah.
So I personally like I felt like a lot of people that like that type of era of James Blake, they appreciated this one a lot more. But I tried to look up to see if there was like anything negative, but didn't really see anything personally.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much like controversial. It was kind of just like a grand departure, which is going to happen to anybody, any artist with a dedicated fan base that kind of goes into a completely different direction with an album. You know, this is kind of returning to roots, like a little bit. It was still like a little bit off the beaten path, where you got more into like almost like a rave kind of scene. That's how he explained it in the interview. That you kind of want to like feel like a rave, and not everybody's gonna feel that way because some people listen to James Blake for like a vibe, or listen to like for like the melancholy and the softness. Like my first time I listened to James Blake was Assume Form. It was one of my favorites. That's my first full project that I locked in with him. I heard his debut, but I didn't get to appreciate it because it was too weird.
Yeah.
And I liked
That's fair. That's fair.
a lot, but I never revisited it again. So Assume Form was the first one I returned to multiple times. And then hearing Playing Robots into Heaven, I was like, for like the first time in 2020, I was like, like a little different. But as I grew to appreciate more like dance music and like electronic and stuff like that, it like I appreciate revisiting it for this album. But I could see why people, especially if this is your first time, like you make like people online might have not taken to it as much, and he also didn't have the big label push as well because I think he was like independent.
That was his first
around this
album.
Oh, it's his first album, independent. Okay, that makes sense.
Chart is high and stuff like that. That stuff like matters, but people didn't know this album came out too. So it was like there's a few people that last times heard of James Blake was Friends That Break Your Heart because it had all the big features. SZA and like I think and Jid and stuff like that and everything. But it's still appreciated. It's just that like that was what anybody makes. It would be like your first Kanye album being like 808s and Heartbreak. You know what I'm saying? Your first Tyler album being Igor.
With that album, I believe like he was. The last album that he made before Playing Robots into Heaven was Friends That Break Your Heart. Yeah. And I think that was the last album that he did on like his major record label. Yeah. And then he ends up with Good Guy Records or something of the sort, which is like an independent.
I think that might
label.
be his imprint or something like that.
That's it's a label that he's on.
Oh, that he's on. It's not his own.
No, I forget.
Is it just like probably like an independent label?
Independent,
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And James Blake talks a lot about like artistry, I think in a very holistic manner where he's discussing like not only the music making, but he's talking about the financial aspect, like the grief with algorithms and TikTok and Instagram and like how the disconnection between the artist and their fan base and the way that like there's not really a direct line of communication. So when he had Playing Robots into Heaven, I think by that time he had already started using like this, I think Vault, which is like he like texts you like I'm like signed up for it, like texts you
Yes.
like
Oh wow.
I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I was just like, he's like, I was messing around in the studio and I, had this song, like, listen to it if you want to.
That's
Which,
cool.
like, yeah, and it's super
I like
good, 'cause
that.
I think if some folks felt like they didn't know that Playing Robots into Heaven was out, is most likely because he was, like, moving away from, like, the usual forms of communication, which is, like, all this big, maybe, like, large tour rollout.
Yeah.
And instead it was, like, him sharing. Which, like, he talks about the fact that he actually got quite a few cities sold out with his method of like texting people like, hey, having a concert.
That's
lit.
dope.
Yeah, I like that.
You just feel
I like
connected
that.
to them.
Yeah.
How long ago was this? Because I know like a lot of
2023.
Yeah, like
2023.
November
Okay.
2020.
Yeah, like towards the end of because I saw the concert for Playing Robots into Heaven in October at Brooklyn Paramount. It was great.
I think a lot of artists had to transition to that
Yeah.
kind of format just because like COVID ruined the whole music industry as far as like going to shows.
Yeah.
So like tapping into your own fan base, like
He-
funny.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying he was like very intentional about wanting to do that too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think especially because he disliked the way in which like you are making music and for a fan base and like you don't have the ability to connect with them and like and you have to like kind of like rely on an algorithm to push your information out there,
Yeah.
like on TikTok or Instagram, instead of having the ability to be like, I just get to directly reach you instead of rely on the algorithm to get
find you.
information.
The good old days.
Yeah.
That's actually
I
what
like to call it.
I think
Yeah.
he might have gotten that inspiration from like Prince. Prince was like kind of the first one to start pioneering that. He had like a mailing club that he had where he was reaching out to fans directly when he had beef with his label around the time of the 90s and the 2000s when he started owning his own like music and stuff like that. So that's how he got all them like 50 Prince albums that that were only exclusively released through magazines or through in your mail or something like that. And certain other people that are more independent started adopting that methodology if they have like a more tapped in, like hungry fan base. As opposed to, like, it definitely work for everybody.
I think we had spoke about that with Daft Punk too. So like that early internet, like I think they were trying to find unique ways to like connect with their fans, considering like the digital age was taking over and like analog mail, like anything physical was kind of like low key depleting. So like I think these artists were trying to find like creative ways to like really lock in with their fans, which Prince, like you said, was a pioneer of that. So that's what that did remind me of. So that's fire. I like that because nowadays you get various texts from like even artists like text you ticket dates and stuff like that. So I feel like that is something like Marcus said, like people had to pivot because of COVID, and I do like that in a way. You know what I mean? So
Returning to form.
Yeah.
Returning to form. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
speaking of, that's what he was doing.
Can assume form. My fault. I didn't see it at first. Thank you. But just checking your nails.
Well, I know that you guys probably thought through individual songs, so I want to definitely get to that. But I think we can get into first impressions, and I can tell you how I felt about this album at first as a really big James Blake fan. So, you guys know I always talk about the fact that I'm not big on doing research with artists, with albums, with none of it. I kind of just like listen to the music. If the music is calling to me, then I'm like locked in. And if not, then I just leave it alone. There have been moments in my life where like everybody's listening to a particular artist. I think the first person that came to mind was like Schoolboy Q. When everybody was listening to him, I was like still like knee deep in The Weeknd and like Lana Del Rey, and so I wasn't ready for Schoolboy Q. I loved
I
Kendrick.
can see you having that phase.
Oh,
That's such a great era.
I can't listen to them now.
That's such a great era.
Schoolboy Q, but later on I did, and then I like really loved him. And I really allow myself to have the moment, like listen to the music when you're ready to listen to the music, and not feeling forced because like that's just the moment, you know. I feel like it makes it difficult. Yeah, it makes it difficult to like really like connect with it because then you're just like studying it. And I really like to build a personal connection. So I love James Blake. Assume Form is also my favorite James Blake record. And so when I heard this, I was like, what the fuck is this bee-boop baboop shit? I was so mad.
Such a
crazy callback.
That's such a Marcus like thing. Yeah.
What the fuck? What is with these fucking robots, dog? Like,
Trying to get into heaven. Like,
I was like, bro. I was like, wait, there's a fucking line. Like, you know what I mean? Like, please.
Get in line, robots.
Assume Form, even. Okay, well.
Go ahead, keep it going.
No, but actually, like,
I could take it. My first impression, because I'm actually not a James Blake fan. Not that I'm not, but really hadn't really listened to his music until like I came around like this friend group, and like you specifically have been vocal about it for a while. My first James Blake album that I heard was the one that came out this year.
Trying Times.
Trying Times.
Oh, really?
I just went to the
Interesting.
concert for
That's
that.
the first one that I like fully listened
Incredible. Did you like it?
to. I did. There's some songs that I really like on that.
Yeah.
But then again, this one comes out and electronic music is not my thing, like
Okay.
at all. So this took like some grinding for me to like get into like a state of mind where like, okay, I can actually like digest it a little bit, because like my body just like instantly like just fights off that kind of music. Like I hear it, I'm like, I don't want to listen to this shit. Where's the sideboard?
I hear you.
Make me cry.
I think you and I connect a lot
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that wavelength
Yeah.
because we like a lot of the same.
Yeah.
Your sound, your usual sound of music is usually
Yeah, I agree.
my go-to as well.
But for this, we actually had some little bit of extra time than we normally did. So I actually sat with it a lot, and I played it in a lot of different scenarios. And I came to the conclusion that this is an album that I need to listen to in movement. Because if I'm like just sitting,
Interesting.
it just doesn't like hit.
Same.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, it grew on me a lot over the last 2-3 weeks. But yeah, my first impression was just like, how the hell am I gonna survive this?
Yeah.
Like this is not it.
I always sorry.
No, go.
I would say that
I
I
have a
would-
question though, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'll make the comment to say that I always love hearing how you guys are like listening to the albums.
Yeah.
I'm always like an advocate of like try it with headphones on, like play it off your phone in the shower, like put it in your car speakers, like experience an album in different settings. This album especially, I think, really needs that because of the kind of production that it has. Different speakers are going to give you a different version of the song depending on what it's able to like pick up.
That's
And
true.
I really love that you found like yourself trying to find out like also like
Yeah.
what does your body need to be doing when
On
it's
a
like
walk,
listening
the
to
shit
that.
hits. On a walk,
Yeah.
it hits.
Hell yeah.
The question I had was like his last 3 albums have been dark.
I love that. I haven't heard the last 3 albums. I've only heard the last.
So
one.
Trying Times. What's the one before Trying Times?
This
Playing
one.
Robots into Heaven.
Okay, what's the one before that? Is it over?
Friends that break your heart.
What's the album? I can't recall the album
The
cover.
one
That's the one where like it's like a plant, like plants and his puzzle
album cover
piece.
is fire. I was thinking of Overgrown.
And then that's
Oh, Overgrown
No,
is
Assume Form.
Assume Form
That's
was-
what I was thinking of. Okay, so it's a little bit different. Okay.
I actually don't see them as dark. They definitely have some dark records on there, like some dark tracks. But I feel
You mean like moody? Like is that what you mean? Moody.
would be the better word.
yeah.
Yes.
Because I feel like all his albums you're gonna get like a deep range of emotion.
Yeah.
You might not get all the emotions in every album, but you're getting so I could see that because the spectrum does
Come on now.
We were singing before this. It's
Yeah.
if I'm gonna finish my
Yeah, go ahead.
my first like
Oh shit! Did I interrupt you? The first.
no I mean I was low key making jokes but
Okay.
I love that you said that too because it really plays off exactly how I felt about the album at first too because I really like it was hard for me to get into it but I was just like I was like I was in a space where I was open and willing to like listen to something new. This album really changed the way that I listen to music. Every now and then you like break into a new genre in a way that you're just like actually receptive and open to it and you really start to fuck with it. Sometimes I'm just like very like I can't listen to this. I don't want to hear it. I like give me my usual acoustics, a band, etc. So when I eventually like started locking into this album, it was with headphones, like studying.
I think that's the only way. Like, I think that's the best way to do it.
Headphones is my favorite.
I couldn't listen to it like out loud,
Okay.
and headphones is the right way.
I'm like, I need you to like, it needs to like penerate like my mind.
You gotta immerse yourself in some
yeah.
Blake.
Yeah.
You gotta immerse yourself in some Blake.
merch ideas. Write that down. But it actually hit, and then I found myself listening to it in the shower. And you know what's funny, especially tracks. There's tracks where you're just like, there were some tracks that I was skipping when I was finally listening to it, and there were like 3 tracks that I was like, you're my anchor in this album.
I'm sure we're gonna have the same thing.
Yeah, you're my anchor in this album. Everything else, I can't do it yet. And then eventually I was just like, oh, I love this. I get it now. And I feel like those anchor tracks really help you like break into the world enough to be like, okay, I see what we're doing here. Anyway, I know that maybe you had your first impression. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was gonna actually say to contrast Harley. Like, I've been like a huge fan of him like prior to this. So like, I didn't. Sadly, the one, like I always say this, the one before this really kind of just, I don't know what it was, but like it just did not do it for me at all. Like, so I didn't really have, my expectations were very low. So when it came out, I was like, all right, let me just like, I went and saw the reception of it. And a lot of people were saying, oh, James Blake is back, like this, that, and the third. So I was like, all right, let me check it out. And then I was blown away. Like it gave me the same feeling like the older music gave me. So like, and I think around that time I was getting into dance music. Like I think what's her name from the XX dropped the album, Romy. She dropped the album, which was really good that year.
The album was amazing.
And that's what in the same space I was on like that. I think you had put me on the Amaray around the same time. So I was big into like very like experimental music. So like I was talking to Noel about this. I actually got sick when this album dropped. So my first impression of it was I was listening to it. I was on cough syrup. So like when you're on cough syrup, hey, I was on that cough syrup. So when you play, that shit came out at 12 o'clock a.m. I was like, oh, listen to the James Blake album. So I played it. And like it took me to a whole other level. I don't know if you guys listen to music when you like sick or whatever, but like I had a little trip. So I was like, yo, this is the greatest thing ever. And then obviously when I woke up the next morning, I heard it again. And I agree with Marcus. I think that James Blake has always been somebody for me. Like I have to relax when I listen to him. I can't be active. I can't like on my way to work. I can't listen to him like to prepare for like going out or whatever. Like for me, his music is always good at night and like when I'm trying to decompress, calm vibes, like out the shower, like you're trying to just like relax. You just had a long day. That's when I play James Blake music. So like it always hits well for me at night, like really at 12 o'clock a.m. because I have a terrible sleeping habit. I don't go to bed like on time or whatever. So like when the world is kind of quiet, that's when James Blake hits, and that's when that album hit for me.
I totally agree.
So yeah, and then obviously like coming back to it, we'll talk about that. But first impressions is I loved it. Like I had no notes. I was like, okay, this is the James Blake that I love. Like this is the music that I literally grew up on with him. So completely enjoyed it.
Yeah, I just to kind of add to that, like I think what comes to mind is like you have to be in still environments. Like for me, like
that's
you have to be in
perfect. Yeah.
So like there's 2 times that I heard this album for the first time actually. When you were playing it and I was like, what in the world is this? Yeah, I was like, what in the world is this that you're playing? It sounds soothing, but I don't fully understand it yet.
Wait, can I say that you asked the question when Big Hammer was on, by the way?
Yeah, wait, like what's going on right now? It's like, what's going on? Yeah, I'm like,
Big Hammer is an acquired taste of music. Yeah,
it's definitely like a.
That's the bop on the album.
Yeah.
That's the bop.
It's literally a bop. It's literally a bop.
That's the bop.
Like it's literally a beep boop bop boop. It's like music. Okay.
The second time that I heard it was on my way to DC with my girlfriend. So literally like we're on a bus trip and it's 4 hours. So all I'm doing is just like literally I'm in a still environment. The bus is moving and I'm listening to all these tracks kind of transition into one another. And it was just like incredibly soothing for me. Like I fell asleep in like literally 30 minutes, which is the duration of the album, which is also incredible that the album is 32 minutes,
it's
right?
42, I think.
32, 42. I want to say 42. Yeah.
It's under now. That's still perfect.
Only every album.
I need people to take notes.
But yeah, no. I think I got the same vibe from Gorillaz, right? Like I think you had a Gorillaz callback. It felt like I just got transported to somewhere else, right? Especially when you start off with asking for a break, like
asking to break.
It actually reminds me of the white dude that's on YouTube.
The white dude from YouTube?
No, the white dude.
White man.
That's hashtag no white. I think I know what you're talking about.
I'll share it after.
I ain't talking about.
But even when it starts out, you get transported. Again, I'm not like a big electronic guy. I'm not a big ambient sound person. I think it requires like mature ears to like really kind of like dig deep into music like that. But I thoroughly I enjoyed the album.
You know something?
You say it requires purposeful listening.
It is a purposeful listening.
Is it it's like it's incredible. And I hate kind of calling it background music because the production does take center stage. But it's incredible music to just have on, right? Like when you're trying to relax or when you're trying to like fall asleep, like it's incredible music. And then again, like when Big Hammer comes on, it's like, all right, like time to wake up. Like, yeah. But that's it.
What did you guys think? Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, it kind of reminds me, like, one thing I forgot to say was the reason why it kind of resonated with me too is because it's very Aphex Twin like coded. So like that, like it's funny. I think you said it like it was like you got to be in a certain mind state to listen to it. There literally is a genre that Aphex Twin makes. It's called intelligent dance music. So like it's the most pretentious like genre of music.
So,
but that's literally if you listen to selected ambient works from like his album is called Selected Ambient Works. I forgot the exact years, but like it's literally like you can see some of the influence from that album to this album. So
interesting.
It's funny that's kind of what
intelligent dance music.
It's called intelligent dance music.
I kind of can see the parallels.
You feel it,
and James Blake. It's pretty hard to get into.
Do you want to share your take?
I'm a pretty like mild James Blake fan. Like as I said, like I really love listening for him a lot. And like when I first heard this album, it was through. I actually heard the single. I heard "Loading," which I think was the first single. And like that's the song I attached to the album. But when I went into it, it just didn't really like stick with me because it was also 2023. And I was into like a ton of music at that time, and so it just like it was on my docket. For those who don't know, I write down damn near every album that comes out each year. And
it helps me when he does that, by the way.
And yeah, I know I'm a freaking loser.
No, you're not. You're not. You're a purposeful listener.
That's right.
That's purposeful listening right there.
I'm a purposeful music listener.
That's hell.
But yeah, so like I had it on my list. I went through it, and I was like, all right. And then I just kept it pushing. So like, if it wasn't for like this meeting, I probably would just stick to Loading, and that's it. But like revisiting it, it's like in the space I'm in right now. It is like very like I appreciate the production and the nuances and stuff. And I actually watched an interview with him about this album, like actually today. And he was talking about how, which makes a lot of sense, how a lot of the production was kind of him assembling a bunch of like parts of production he made throughout the years and stuff, like different bass lines, different like drum patterns and stuff, kind of just like throwing it together, like while he's like having fun and stuff. Because he said like the last album he made, which is Friends That Break Your Heart, was more purposeful, more like diving in, more emotional, more heavy. This was like just him having fun and kind of just like messing around. And like he wanted it to be more like how his DJ sets are, because James Blake DJs. So he wanted to be like how he would DJ a rave, where you have like, you know, a slow like transcendence, you have like the peak, and then you have like the come down towards the end and stuff. And that's kind of how he wanted to design the album. It made me kind of like be in the right headspace to be like, okay, now I'm hearing it from like a brand new lens, and I can appreciate what he did like with this album, because again, not many people take this big of a swing like this far in their careers. I wish more people did. So like I think that he like did it really well. It shows off his production chops really well if you like really listen to what he could do. And like you could hear some of this album and like all the other stuff he produces for like, which is like for everybody.
For sure.
Yeah, so it's a pretty good. You got to be in the right headspace. Like again, like everybody said, I don't think this is like something you could like. I'm gonna throw this on and like at the gym.
No.
Like
Yeah.
that. You could.
I tried to.
I ain't gonna knock
it didn't
it.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Some
Like,
people can.
like to each their own, but I can't.
Yeah.
So like, but I'm not everybody. So like, just make sure you're like in a good environment where you can like feel like you can absorb sound, and that's probably the best way you can appreciate this. Or else it's gonna feel like the background music.
Where for me, I feel like, because I remember when this came out in 2023, there was a lot of music going on, and I was a big fan of James Blake, or I still am a big fan of James Blake. But he was on a run for like his past 3 albums before this that I really enjoyed, and he was showing off his like kind of like we mentioned before, his writing credits not only for himself but for other people, and like his song making ability. Like he was like, there's so many songs of his that I was like, yo, this is fire. I was adding them to playlists, sending them to people, all of that. And then he came out with this, and it was, I forgot who said it. I think Zeus just said it. It was a curveball. It was just like, damn, I was not expecting this at all. Like he completely
I felt the same.
swept me off my feet with this, but I was just like, on first listen, I didn't know what to expect, so it was like a big shock. So I was like, I don't really know how I feel about this. You know, like there was a couple of standout tracks, I would say, off the first couple of listens, which I don't want to get into my standout tracks right now, but shortly. And there was some that stood out right away, but then a couple of others that like as I kept listening, and then even this time listening again, that like grew on me, that I was like, nah, these are actually pretty good. So there's some that I was like not too crazy about, but then there's some that I was like, damn, that's actually a really good song. So
I love that. I feel like you should just get like right into like your standout tracks, and also
I got
like,
notes.
If you guys want to bring in like a little bit of that exercise that I sent ahead of time, like thinking about the lyrics and the song and the production,
Got you.
I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Also, can I ask, how did you like listening to this album best? Headphones, out loud in a speaker, in a car, like?
Mainly for me it was just headphones.
Okay, what are you using?
I have.
Like wires? Or
I have AirPod Pros, like the wireless joints.
Okay,
I have
word.
those, but then sometimes I didn't do it with this album, so I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay.
But sometimes when I listen to certain things, I plug it into my laptop because I have Apple Music on there, and I have a Audio Technica like wired headphones that are like
Okay, word.
kind of like similar to what we
Okay.
use here,
Yeah.
and that like gives me like the best. You know, I mean they're kind of like studio headphones, but it is what it is. But yeah,
word.
for this one, I was listening mainly in AirPod Pros. I still feel like I got a good immersive experience though with it. So with that being said, I'll get into some of my favorite tracks. The first two of Rip, Asking to Break and Loading, I thought were great songs. At the end of Asking to Break, when he was like, true love lets you break and it stays around, I was like, damn, like it's just,
Oof.
it's just, to me, like people experience hurt and they experience certain things, you know, so you might be in love with someone, whether it be in love or someone that you love, like a relationship with a family member, a friend.
Talk like a married man. Yeah, talk like a married man.
That's my man.
I like that.
You know,
I got you.
but you know, it's two different ones. You love people and then you in love with somebody. You know what I mean? And sometimes love hurts, and there's people that you care for that sometimes you gotta watch, or they watch you hurt because you not on the same page. Either they're doing something that's letting you down or something like that, and you know the people you love the most hurt you the most. Unfortunately, that's just the way that the world goes, because you care more. And I feel like what he was talking about on that song, I was like, damn, like he's really those words specifically stood out to me. I was like, damn, that's those kind of.
It's funny because in Hummingbird, you know, off the Spider-Man soundtrack, Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse, yeah.
You know, in that song Hummingbird, he performed it at his last concert for Trying
Oh, the one you
Times.
just went to?
Yeah, and I love it. Matt was making the joke. He's like, bro is rapping over like a Metro Boomin beat, saying that
James Blake was rapping.
He was rapping?
Sorry,
Nah,
singing.
Barton, I'm scared. Nah, you're speaking.
Singing and saying some really beautiful lyrics over like some trap beat. But he was saying,
She's
like,
done a lot.
I count on love because love is unconditional within reason. What a beautiful thing to just throw in a song for Spider-Man, you know?
Within reason.
Within reason.
Within reason.
But also, like, it's not that, like, I was thinking about it, like, after I said that at the concert, and I was like, actually, this isn't that, like, different for him, because, like, he was on, like, Travis Scott's album.
For sure.
He was on,
Yeah,
like,
the same year actually.
he's on a
The
lot
same
of-
year he did
he's
So
on a
For
lot
the
of-
Notice.
He's dead. He's
Yeah.
on, like, everything. Like,
Yeah.
But I think one of the things that we like, I don't think we mentioned yet, but like, yo, like I'm a first time James Blake listener, and you could tell he's a music nerd. Like he's a 1000% music nerd. You don't get to
For sure.
music like
Facts.
where you're at now without absorbing so many other different forms of music, right? I think that's one of the things you can really tell if an artist loves music by how experimental they get with their projects.
For sure.
That's a fact.
Putting together tracks too. Sorry, I know that I.
No, good.
Yeah.
I always let the conversation
Yeah.
flow.
Hey. Hey.
I know, in Loading that I mentioned too, he said, wherever I go, I'm only as good as my mind, which is only good if you're mine. You know what I mean?
And then he repeats
Lover
it.
boy.
Yeah, exactly. And then he says it again, just to make sure you know, mine is only good if you're mine. But that one was one of my standout tracks. I Want You to Know might be my favorite song on
Okay.
there. And that was the one that stood out to me on first listen. I think that's why that might be my favorite song, because for those who don't know, it's a callback to Beautiful by Pharrell and Snoop Dogg. And it's such a small moment in the song.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing song on the song Beautiful. I mean,
Impactful.
moment, yeah.
Yes.
But then to hear it become a whole song.
Yes.
And he only says that over and over and over again, but the way that he did it,
To quote the GOAT Jay-Z, they made it a hot line. James Blake made it a hot song. Crazy.
Immerse yourself in some Blake.
I love that about that song because I know that all of us growing up listening to Beautiful, we love that part of the song.
Facts. We love bridges. We love bridges here in every last record, by the way.
Sure
do. We truly do.
Bring back Bridges.
I love that.
and then real quick, I'll wrap the rest of my two up. So Fire the Editor, I thought that was probably either, I go back and forth between Fire the Editor and If You Can Hear Me as which one I enjoy more lyrically, because I feel like both are very, very in depth, and they match the production really well. In Fire the Editor, he said, "I've already failed you so many times. I'm not afraid."
Okay.
I'm not afraid though.
I failed you so many times that I'm not afraid anymore.
I
And then he
think-
goes, "And I'm counting on myself." You know what I mean?
I can't, right. I'm in that.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Like that broke me. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Fire. Yeah. Nah, it's that's what. But those are some of the songs that stood out to me because I was like, oh, this is the James Blake that I know and love. You know what I mean? Like when I heard this, that's not all of them had that because obviously we know he took a different direction. But on the ones where he put his pen to it, you already know it's like,
Yeah.
this is heat.
But
You want to hear a hot take on that song?
What?
I think I said this before. It's a great diss track. I'm not gonna hold you.
No, I was saying I wanted to know who that was about actually, because I don't know who that was about.
So wait,
that's exactly what I was asking.
Let's go.
I actually know what he meant by
Because
that.
I have so many fucking thoughts about this. This little like two song like pocket between Fire the Editor and If You Can Hear Me. So for me to get to that point though, like I had to like peel the layers back because all I was hearing was beep bop boop bop.
Yeah.
All I was hearing was beep bop boop bop. I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna make it 3 weeks listening to this? And then I don't know, something clicked, and I think I was on a walk and something clicked, and I'm like, oh, did he always say that? Like he's like, Fire the Editor. I've always failed you so
love
many
that.
times.
Did he
And,
always say that?
Like, did he always say that? And then, like, you asked, like, who is the editor? So then I went on this, like,
Rabbit hole.
mental, like, I just fell into a sunken place because I'm like, who the fuck is the editor? Like, is he talking about?
Sunken place?
That
he
is a
being,
great
like,
question.
Is it God? Like, is it God? Is it, like, somebody that's in charge? Is it the literal editor? Is it him
it me?
writing the song?
Am I the editor?
You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of like it still kind of like broke my mind a little bit. Like the more I think about it,
Yeah.
and going into If You Can Hear Me, like he's that line where he's like, "Dad, if you can hear me."
Yeah.
I didn't hear that for a while, and I'm like, I don't know what his relationship with his father is, but like,
Yeah.
if his father's even alive or whatever. But now,
Yeah,
like,
he is.
he took the driver's seat
Spoilers.
and he like, I
Yeah.
forgot, like he.
Dad,
fell
if you
into
can
some-
hear me,
I love that song.
He followed his dream.
and woke up even more
Yeah.
tired.
Bro.
I was like, damn.
I had that's actually I was gonna bring that up as mine because yeah,
Goosebumps listening to that.
Incredible.
that was
It took. I felt like it took work to get there.
I
Yeah.
mean, like with such little lyrics
Yeah.
in the album, though,
That's
they're
what I was
doing
trying to say,
such
yeah.
heavy lifting,
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just 2 or 3 lines.
and they're doing such heavy lifting.
But yeah, those are definitely 2 of my like major standouts. Tell Me is the one that I had heard once I heard this. I was like, oh, I know this song. The song's been everywhere. And then last thing, just to not list every freaking song, Loading is incredible because Loading, like the lyrics and the production just like play like checkers with each other, like one jumping over the other. It feels like you get this like, you know, production, then you get some lyrics that kind of like edges it along, and you get production and lyrics, and then you get just lyrics, and then you get like it just kind of like it loads. Haha. I really appreciate that song.
I
So
feel like
that's
it
one of
really
my-
helps you get to the point where you're just like, okay, this is no longer beep boop ba boop. Like I
Yeah.
actually am hearing it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, has he always been saying this?
Yeah.
Like, was this always a lyric? Like, holy
Mm-hmm.
shit, has it always been speaking to me in this way? Like, you eventually start to hear it. You ever watch Cow and Chicken as a kid?
oh my god, one of the greatest. Yes, that's some like '90s cartoon like Hanna-Barbera like trope, man.
traumatized because I was like, what the fuck do the parents look like?
Oh, they showed them. They're scary as hell, man.
But
I didn't
Scary.
Like that. I actually liked when I couldn't see them. But in that, like, you're like, oh, eventually you're like, oh, I hear the words. Like I know, I'm here with the sound. Like I know what is being said. I'm like in the communication realm. Like I could do that. And with Fire the Editor, you know, I'll share my take on that song. That was the song that I thought a lot about in terms of lyrics. I've always experienced the song because he says, Fire the Editor. He's trying to save me from failing, but I've already failed.
Yeah.
So many times.
And I think with that, like as a person with a lot of anxiety, you know, generally, I know that when I really care about something, it can be really daunting to touch it and approach it and interact with it because I'm just like, what if I fuck it up? What if I fail?
Real.
What if I don't do this right?
You already failed.
But that's a narrative that you tell yourself in your mind where it's like, that's the editor. Editing your thoughts and your consciousness and telling you that you're gonna fail.
You're the editor.
I feel like that can be interpreted so many ways.
Yeah, no, this is my hot take with it. Like, and I'm just like, you are the editor, and sometimes you're telling yourself like I'm gonna fail, you know, and it's like, but you.
Nah, yeah, we could be our own worst enemy sometimes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's actually exactly what he said in the
And
interview.
it's like, but I'm not afraid. I've already failed so many times. Like, that's a beautiful turn to the anxiety to be like
And the level of vulnerability to kind of get there, right? So like I had a broader take on that. I just thought of it as like very literal, like just discerning advice, right? But to come to a place where you can like acknowledge your failures as just like ways to progress and move forward, right? Like it's mad funny. Like I called it a diss track. The funny thing about it is Drake could never Drake could never like take like
Tune into the Drake episode.
Take your failures and say like, you know what, like all right, like I've already failed already. Like there's no worse. I could just ascend from here, and which is a part. That's the theme of the album. Like it's literally the theme of the album, which is to ascend past that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Incredible.
I think to like obviously go off of what everybody's saying. I think that's the basis of the album. It seems like he's going through like internal thoughts that he's wrestling like in order to like progress. I feel like there's something that was holding him back, and he's trying to get these thoughts out, trying to be free, break free. Be autonomous the best way he can. So like songs like Fall Back, that's like one of my favorites. And now I'll contrast what everybody's saying. Like the songs that I love the most are very instrumental friendly, and I feel like Fall Back is just like that repetitive like jam almost. And then you have like He's Been Through. Like he's what's the one?
Wonderful.
He's Been Wonderful is like like that. I love that like mix of soul,
Like
electronic and like gospel. Like that's fire to me. I
like that song.
I love that juxtaposition that he has on there. But then I feel like Fall Back because he's obviously like being anxious about like falling and like not being able to come back from whatever struggle he's going through. To me, then it goes to obviously what we've been talking about, If You Can Hear Me, when I feel like he unfortunately has fallen to whatever he's afraid of. And to me, there's a lyric that I really resonate with, and it's really just like to be personal, like with my relationship with my dad. And that one is Dad, if you can hear me, we speak a lot less than I'd like. And I don't know how I grew away from the vine, took your lead, follow your dream, and I woke up more tired because that falling off the vine and like not really speaking, I can relate to that. So I feel like he was going through a lot of like, and if it is literal and it's not more of a gospel thing, it's not more of a divine being, if it is literally his father, I think there's a lot of things that he was wrestling with internally that he just wanted to get onto the album. And maybe that's why there's less lyrics and there's more sound, because he wants you to distract you from that.
And
I think that's the thing.
To add one thing, I feel like you can take away all lyrics from this, and you still kind of
You get the feeling. You get the feeling.
feel it in the
the lyrics
production.
is just like a little bit like of like a here you
And
go, like
that's why I said it kind of like it's kind of spiritually reminds me of like Kade, because Kade has a lot of these same anxieties about not only the landscape of the world in terms of going to online and like digital, but then this years later it seems like the anxiety of like you said, falling short into the algorithms, AI, everything that has to do with that. So I think it's like a spiritual successor to that. But I think all of these things, like you're wrestling with these own like what is going to happen to me? Like, did I mess up? Like, I need my family and I don't have that connection anymore. Like, I don't know where I'm going to wander to. And like, it's really giving me an existential crisis almost. So like, that's what I interpret this whole album to be. But those two tracks to me, they kind of form into one, where I feel like he was nervous about literally falling back, and then he did, and then that's why you get my favorite song on the album, which is the last song, Playing Robots into Heaven. Just that,
my favorite.
so haunting. It sounds like an Adult Swim like bumper. If you guys remember Adult Swim, they used to have the bumpers and stuff like they used to play at like 5 o'clock in the morning and be like the scary ones. But that's what that reminds me of. There's something very calming about that. Like I find that type of music very calming. Like I know a lot of people be like, oh, it's creepy, it sounds like spooky, whatever, but I feel like there's a reason for that on there. I don't think anything is settled, and it's haunting, it's scary, and that's why the album ends like that. And that's my favorite song on the album, personally.
Look, okay.
No, I was just gonna say I want to hear what Matt has to,
Nah,
what
it's
he
all right.
thinks, and then you can share.
I was like, y'all get y'all stuff
Get
off.
your
Yeah,
little-
but-
get your little
go ahead, you're gonna make a comment.
Yeah. No, the exact part of what was the song where he's talking about his dad again?
If you there, can you hear me?
The exact. So like, the song doesn't have lyrics until like the second half of the song, and then like you get to a point where like the most emotional part in terms of lyrics is also the most emotional vocal part.
Yes.
Like I was cooking and I heard the.
He goes,
I was like, oh my goodness. Yes.
away from the line.
I
Yeah.
paused. I was like, whoa.
And it's also like such it's a little complex the way that he gets up there. I don't know how I grew away from the vine.
Yes.
What a and the fact that it's like ascending, you know that it's really beautiful.
And musically,
Yeah.
yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
That's why I love his music, man. Like it's just everything going on. There's a lot going on, but it works. It works. A lot of risks, but it works.
There's an intention behind
Yeah.
the music that he's creating.
For sure.
Yeah. It's everything is kind of coming together. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was gonna say I was hearing what everybody had to say about like some of the songs. It's funny because I actually have like a couple answers. Like in terms of the Fire the Editor, you guys were right. You talked about it in one of his interviews about Fire the Editor was kind of meant to be like an anagram for you, essentially. So it's kind of like that's why it has so many different layers to it. It's kind of like you are the editor, but also like he is the editor because he is him. So it's kind of like meant to be like a first person perspective on that song, which makes it make a lot more sense, and leaves up to a lot more interpretation based on the life of the listener listening to it. And also the song about his father. God, what is it?
It was supposed to be from like a movie.
If you can hear me,
Maybe you can hear it was supposed to be from like a movie soundtrack,
Yeah, but,
right?
but a lot of people don't know is that his dad was also a musician. That's how he got into music.
Yeah.
His dad's name is James Litherland.
Yeah, he wrote Retrograde,
Yeah.
which is fire. That's
Fire,
most
yeah.
popular song.
Blitherland?
No, Litherland.
Netherlands. That's just James Blake's name. That's his real name.
Yeah. So his dad. Yeah. So his dad is.
So he's a junior, right?
Got it.
Yeah, I
Is
think
he-
it's like
junior,
I
right?
think his dad's middle name is different. So it's like.
Oh, okay.
Junior, sure, but like, yeah, his dad, his dad is Big Blake essentially, and so it's like that's how he got into music.
Big Blake.
So it's like it makes a lot more sense now when you recontextualize that part of the song where he's talking about like I followed my dad's dream of doing music, and I woke up so much more tired. You know what I mean?
He felt really called by this song, but he actually didn't write this song about his dad. He wrote this for a soundtrack for a movie that he was supposed to do,
Yes.
and they actually ended up going with something
What was the
else.
movie?
I forget. I was
said-
like,
yeah, he said-
later.
Pours his heart out, and then they just like.
Wonder if it's like a Christopher Nolan movie.
No, it's not.
Like that's what it
It wasn't
sounds.
like no crazy. Yeah, it wasn't like no crazy movie, but like yeah, it did get axed, so he kept it and kind of like retooled it for this album and stuff. But like again, the lyrics still make sense.
It still makes sense, yeah.
In terms of like his upbringing and like the music and stuff like that, especially like considering the fact he was the only child, and just that like your dad's your idol and stuff like that. It's kind of like I gotta do what he's doing. He does it great. Look at James Blake's career, successful career, but it's kind of like
Is he saying that he's like? So obviously, like when the last line says he's tired, like he's more tired than he is. Like, do you think that there was a point in his career, and maybe that's why he didn't drop an album for so long? That the process leading up to this, and then the album itself, and then he's like, "Yo, I'm exhausted. Like I'm burnt out." Would you say he was burnt
that
out?
happens to almost every artist.
Yeah.
Every artist that's very like.
Because he put out a lot of albums like back to back to back.
Yeah.
around that time.
Seven
And that,
albums.
that doesn't even count like again like all the production and writing work.
Yeah.
There's a sheer. I was talking to my coworkers today about who James Blake was. Like, what else James Blake? And it was just like, yo, he was. If you look at his top songs, almost none of them are his songs. It's like
Yeah.
King's
Yep.
Dead.
Yeah.
It's his most streamed song. People don't even know that's him on it.
Yeah, yep.
Um,
He also like co-wrote and produced the seance scene from Sinners.
I've heard
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Somebody told me that.
He's
You told me that. Yeah.
He's on Blonde too.
Yeah.
Godspeed.
He's on Damn.
Beyonce's Lemonade.
Forward
Yeah.
for Forward. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on every album, and people just don't realize it. Like they hear him, and it's like, yeah, he's on Utopia.
Yeah.
0 to 100.
Yeah, he's on.
Actually, though.
Yeah, he's on damn near every song. And so
Could it
it's
be the
like-
way that
You're lying.
the track-
You're lying.
Wait, you didn't know that?
That's Sanford.
No, that's James Blake. Look it up.
Blake is not
It was a sample. Yeah, it's not sample. That's James Blake. So what happened was I think he used his like unfinished vocals without his permission, and that's why in the release version they took that part off. That's only like an unofficial version that was on like
The better-
that's the better version. But
Yeah, but going to like my favorite songs. It's pretty much what you guys said. Like, but Loading is like my number one, honestly, because like that's the first song I heard. And I remember I saved it, and I would hear it like time and time again. I'd be like, man, this is like super like. I like the like just everything about the production, the way it's composed. Like I like the faux synthy like horns. It sounds very like almost like triumphant but melancholic in a certain kind of way and stuff, like very regal. And it just permeates the entire like backdrop and soundscape of the entire song. Like that whole like doo doo doo, like that permeates the entire song, and it just sounds great. Even when it does like the whole like dance breaks towards the end and stuff, it's just like it sounds great. Like I think it's one of his best songs in my opinion. The beautiful song that was another song
I
that
Want You to Know.
yeah, I Want You to Know. When I heard this album again for our episode, that's the one that I was like, I didn't even know he made this. Like maybe I just didn't like retain it because I think I only retained Loading, but I was like, yo, this is incredible. I love this sample flip, and James Blake does it a lot. Like he like covers a lot of songs. He like he did Godspeed by Frank Ocean. He like flips a lot of songs.
He wrote that song though.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he wrote that song.
He wrote Godspeed.
And he performed at the
which
concert.
is like one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did it in his Playing Robots into
I
Heaven.
do like his version a lot more. Like
it.
this demo, I do enjoy more than
More?
low key.
I don't like it more, but I love it.
Low key.
Spicy tape.
Low key.
Yeah, like I like the way that he like flips like a conventional hip hop song because he's so hip hop adjacent. Even though like his own music, it doesn't sound like that. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, Asking to Break is a really good intro. Like I think it like really
Great
like
intro.
it like when you like take away from the fact that it's like this sounds mad weird and like what the fuck is this? I listen to like regular shit. Like it's like a very like haunting like song, but it kind of gets like kind of like a more upbeat tone at the end and stuff with like the synths leads and everything. It's just like yeah.
Wait, if I could add one thing about that song, that one I did read about. That song is placed where it is, and it sounds the way it is because it's supposed to kind of bridge the gap between his like what his music has sounded before into like what this album.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Like this transition into like breaking away from the previous sound back into his like producer like bag.
Even using the words asking,
Yeah.
like asking to break.
So that
He's
one has a
considerate
little
of his
bit more singing,
fans.
a little bit more melodies.
Yeah.
And then it kind of like morphs into like this like more production.
That's fire. Yeah, that's fire.
Loading, I feel like I love that intentional.
fire.
It seems like the maybe the
Start
song
off track to a
titles
new.
are like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
bringing you into this new, bringing you into heaven maybe, the robots and such.
Beep, boop, bop, boop.
I can share my standout tracks too. So that was my take on Fire the Editor. I would say like one of my favorite songs on the album is Fire the Editor. I love the lyrics because it immediately like it just like hit home for me. I thought about it in that way. I thought about myself as the editor. It came to me in like such a particular time. I was listening to this album a lot while I was applying to like colleges. I was like graduating community college. I was like doing everything under the sun, applying to like a bajillion universities. And like I would just listen to this album on loop. And I felt like it was just speaking to like my imposter syndrome through the process of even like trying to like write a personal narrative and talk about yourself as like a, you know, as a good candidate for an institution, you know, and it was like, it was helping me a lot in many ways, and I was able to write very freely through moments of centering myself with this album,
That's real.
which I'm really, really appreciative of. But I also really love Night Sky.
Yes, you was talking about that.
Night Sky
Yeah.
is so
I have that
good.
as on. Yeah.
I love when that ending part.
The second half is incredible. Yeah.
Yes.
And it felt like that ascending when the vocals like, ha, ha, ha. And it just kept getting higher and higher. And you're just like, yes. Like, I just want to be on your level. Like, I want to be with you, with God. I want to be in heaven. I don't want to feel pain. I want to be in a space in which I don't need to be internalizing lies and narratives by the editor, by society, or whatever it is. And I felt like so much of the lyrics were in conversation with one another, even if there were not many of them. And the production, like, just having that sound in Night Sky, just like higher and higher and higher. And I too am a night owl like you.
You get it, yeah.
I feel like
Joelle be like texting us at like 2 a.m.
2 in the morning, bro.
And I was like, I feel you. And listen, I was like, I feel that, man. I feel it. I don't be responding because I'm like, if I respond, I'm gonna be part of the problem again. And, yeah,
I respect
but I'm like, my sister. I wish I could just tell you, like, I feel you, but.
I don't respond.
I love that. Thank you so much.
I don't respond because I'm a horrible texter, but I be feeling you. I'll be like, yo.
Well, good. I'm glad to know that you guys feel me.
Because we will literally have a whole conversation if I respond.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna
Well,
go to
the
sleep.
thing is, like,
Please, I don't want to wake up to 72 texts. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, Leo.
it's different when you're in the work day, you look at your phone, and you're just like 85 text messages back.
But you feel loved. Like that's how you know you love, and this how we're a good group. Like,
I won't
you know what
lie,
I mean?
like there's a particularly calming experience to feeling like, oh, I'm finally like, it's just me awake. Nobody,
That's
the world
real.
is quiet and
Yeah.
like no distractions, and I get my best work done at nighttime. So if you ever text me at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., I'll be awake most likely.
That's real. Yeah,
You know,
same.
I won't be awake at 9 a.m. That's just not who I am, and I've accepted that.
That's real.
But I'm, locking in. So yeah, Fire the Editor, incredible. Night Sky, of course, Asking to Break and Loading are great. But like, I really love He's Been Wonderful.
Yeah.
Because when they go, that he has really been wonderful at the end.
like ends with that. Yeah.
It's so good. I'm just like, wow, I'm cleansed. I can do anything actually right now, and nothing matters.
Wait,
Yeah.
before we move on from
Yeah, please.
standout tracks, Big Hammer is fire.
Big Hammer is good.
I have lore on Big Hammer actually.
Wait, but
I'm really surprised you guys like Big Hammer. I thought that was gonna be
I love Big Hammer.
the most panned song when we got on
I
here.
love it.
But it's like, it feels like it's its own little island because it's track 6 on this
Yeah.
11 like track album, and there's 5 before, 5 after that sound completely different.
Different,
And
yeah.
it's this one like just fucking like big
And
come
it's
up.
right in the middle.
Big-
It's like, it feels like a reset.
Yeah.
Like,
Big Hammer is what solidified like the idea that's what first gave me the idea that like he's a music nerd, right? Like, cause to have like techno electronic reggae on an album
bro.
like that, like where
Yes.
no other song sounds the same, and then when you look into who that is, it's like I've looked them up. It's the Raga Twins.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they're a part of the UK electronic dance scene in the 90s, and they only have 2 albums, like 2 solo albums, and then they have like collaborative albums from like 2015 to like 2023. So
Those
like
guys, like
yeah.
they're like part of like one of my fashion mood boards because like the way that they were all fly, like, and I got into them because of where I used to work. But like those guys were like almost like the like models in the UK around that time. Like tons of photos of them on my mood board. So
It's
yeah.
it's insane. Like that's a deep cut. Like if you've never heard of James Blake before, like that's a deep cut.
Facts.
Like if you don't live in UK, like that's probably a crazy pull. Like if you're from UK, outside of that, you're like, why is this on here? Like it sounds so out of place. But yeah, no, that's
it's good.
Yeah. I mean, it's a part of his culture. Like it's a part of his culture. Like it would make sense that would be on his album because he's from London. Like that it makes sense. It's very authentic to who he is.
I wanted to ask Matt because like Matt's really good at this. Like he every time he listens to albums, like he says that there's like a part of the album that leads up to it, like a climax of it. Like there's a point song that you go to that is the climax of the album. Matt, I want to ask like what do you think that is for this album?
Honestly, that's a great question because I was pondering this. I think honestly, let me see the technical difficulty. Let me see the track list real quick. Honestly, I think Big Hammer is a good like diversion because it kind of like again like breaks the album. It's almost like an intermission.
Almost like a Big Hammer.
Yeah, exactly. But like I think honestly, like I want you to know is like the moment it kind of like crescendos a bit because it's a moment of familiarity for people that have like come from the same generation that he has because we're all millennials here and stuff, and then we all unks, and aunties.
Yeah, thank you.
So like we would know.
Unk is gender neutral though. So.
You're so right.
But also like he repurposes like those lyrics to mean something like so much deeper and special because like the original song, like I love the original song, like Beautiful is one of Snoop Dogg's best singles, and like it's like a vibe, you throw it on in summertime and stuff, blah blah, but he turned it into like this really like loving, compassionate time with the moment with the exact same lyrics, and then it like has all the elements of the album in terms of like the dance breaks and like the kind of like dubsteppy kind of like instrumentation and everything. It kind of sounds the most like his first album. If you guys ever heard James Blake's self-titled album,
it does.
that song reminds me the most of like self-titled because it's like almost like a deconstruction while using this same like old refrain, and then it kind of like turns into a little more like of a moody kind of like a reflective portion towards the second half. So it's like I think that song does like really well after Big Hammer because it's just like a whiplash. But like it's like okay, this is my song. That's why this is a song that everybody kind of called out a little bit. It's like because it makes your ears perk up a little bit. It's like oh shit. So it's like I would say that's probably like the apex of the album and everything. But I do think that like If You Could Hear Me is such a good like outro. Even though the title track is the outro, that's the last song with lyrics, I believe. I don't think the outro has lyrics, right?
No.
No, it doesn't. It
It's
doesn't.
the last song with lyrics, and then it just goes right into like the self-titled song. It's just beautiful.
The
So,
outro does feel like it has lyrics, though. I don't know if anybody feels that way.
Yeah.
It feels like it's really speaking to me.
it feels like the cover art. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow, it does
Feels like the
feel
cover art.
exactly
I can
like the
agree with
cover
that
art.
too.
Yeah.
Every good album has a song that feels like the cover. When you hear it, it's like, yo,
That's the album title song, right?
Yeah.
That's the title song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way that he came to this title, I believe, like, because he was working on, like, he's using, like, modular synths
Yes.
to do this album, which, like, I went down a rabbit hole. 'Cause
I need a
I'm not,
T-shirt
like-
that says modular sentence. I've heard that like 16 times.
Shout out to the modular Sims,
all
man.
the modular synths.
Shout out to Tonto. Tonto, baby.
That's
gonna be a term.
It was a learning curve for me because I was just like, what is this? And like, why does this album sound like this? Because it, like, really, I thought so much about Jay Dilla when I first started listening to this album. Because I was just like, wow, I never thought that Bibu Babu could feel so human. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You
Like,
creating
it's
a whole
so, like,
genre.
I'm like, whoa, the production alone is like speaking to me on such a deep emotional level. And I never thought that a sound like that could do that.
And that's the purpose, right? Play the robots into heaven.
heaven.
Facts.
It's like humanly like playing.
Yeah. And he was saying with this album, he was like, I feel with this album like I was ascending, like it was like just such a like a high vibration album. He kept using that word with his interview with Anthony Fantano. He just kept saying like it just felt like such a high vibrational album. And I truly feel that. It feels like he's addressing some of the hangups, that we have, some of the wounds that he has that I felt very much like I related to it. He was addressing the wounds. He wasn't ignoring them. He was saying like, I see you. And like this is how we move on from this, and so much of that I'm picking up intuitively with the production, with a little bit of lyrics that you're hearing, and I like absolutely loved that. And so I was listening to the tape notes. It's like a podcast. I don't remember who the host is, but they like break down every single like song, and like James Blake is like nerding out about using modular synths for this. I think he was using like this something Metropolis was the machine that he's using. So instead of like using like buying a different tool for like every like oscillator or synthesizer, he's using one tool that has like
We're
80
just throwing
of
out
them.
big words now that you know that we don't know.
Right.
Is that what it is?
No, listen. Shout out to the modular synths.
No.
Tonto, Zero Time, great album.
Like modular
Tonto,
synths.
modular synth. Shout out to Stevie Wonder.
Personally, and I mean, like, I loved, and please do actually share a little bit about that, but, like, personally, I had no idea what any of this was. I was just like, how do you get an album that sounds like this? I was so confused. I was like, did you intentionally make this sound so weird? Because for me, I was just like, I don't get it. But then I actually want to read a quote that he shared about it, which, like, helped me understand a little bit about what it was. He said, he's like, and a modular synth is kind of like, it's a bit of a modern art in a way. It's kind of like I don't know. He's like, there's more a sense of curating something that's coming in you're hearing versus like composing it. It's like, because you kind of just have like all these plugins with these different like oscillators, and you just like let the sound come to you, and you start to like tweak whatever you're hearing and just like play with it for like ever. And like if you guys listen to tape notes, you can hear like the very beginning of him like producing a track, like loading, like what it sounded like at first, or which he like hated the drums on at first. And then he shared some lore which I thought was really cool, where he says like for the process that Kanye had for Yeezus was that he would like do it with his producer, like he's producing the song, would take out all of the drums out of all of the songs.
That makes
and then
sense,
add,
yeah.
like, all new drums and just like see what it sounds like and see what you like better. He's like, he'd spend weeks just on drums, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like,
makes
that's pretty cool.
It's really
You get to hear like different levels of him composing all of the songs, and you're just like, damn, now I kind of like can hear what he means when he says modular synths. Cause
there's a lot of level of patience with that, because I feel like when you're eager to put something out, like you're like, all right, it has to be a certain way, like it has to be this way. Whereas, and that's the one thing that I think is missing in the modern music game, is I think a lot of people just want to put music out. Like I think me and Matt were talking about this years ago about like doing multiple takes, like even doing multiple takes. Like I feel like a lot of artists don't do that anymore. So for somebody to be like, hey, let me like sit on these drums, whether or not I want to keep them in there for like, I don't know, you said a couple weeks, like maybe like 10 weeks or something, like that's crazy. But that's also like how it should be. You know, I know as consumers, sometimes we want the art like right there on our doorstep a lot of time, but like, and fast. But a lot of great music has come when the artist took his sweet time and like focused on every detail. So I think that's why, like, to praise James Blake again, I think that's why this album and his albums come out the way that they do.
Yeah.
He takes a lot of time on his craft. Every detail, every sound, drum, synthesizer, lyric, delivery, like it's all like to a certain standard, and he doesn't break that for anything. And that's important.
And a lot of these tracks he just like threw together, like he had been working on some of them. Like some of them were like 8 years old at the time that he was making. So when you were sharing like, oh, some of these tracks sound like he was making them during the Yeezus.
Yeah,
I'm like, that makes sense. Like some of them he was.
There was like an album that he was supposed to put out with Ye around like 2022. It's called War.
Oh, okay.
And there was a lot of songs that Kanye kind of like previewed around like that time, but then that's also the same year he started wilding out and stuff. So that's why that got scrapped completely. But I there's some songs that leaked, and they kind of do sound like they're from this era. So I wouldn't be surprised if like a lot of the stuff that James Blake was doing around this time, putting out, were like almost like small ideas from that project. Especially like, what is it? He's Been Through, like that's the joint, or like he's really been. That sounds like a collaboration between those two. That sounds like
saying that, because
yes, that sounds like that.
I can hear that.
Yeah. Especially
But he's been wonderful.
Yeah, he's been wonderful. Yeah,
It's a whole choir
like
in
this.
there. Yeah,
That sounds like it could have been from that time.
so good. He said this, talking about gospel. You know, I love the fact that, like, again, this is some bee-boo babu shit that actually made me feel some deep human emotions, and like it felt very profound to me. And he said, I like the fact that there is a machine that has animated itself to play this, and I'm the one that is having this spiritual experience just listening to the music that this thing has made. And in the end, to return to the favor came the name, where he created he had the name like Playing Robots into Heaven. He's like, whoa, I'm letting this like machine, whatever the machine is that he's using, it's like Metropolis something. He's like, I'm just letting it kind of like run with all these plugins. Modular synths. He's just letting them like play. He's like, I'm just like letting it like do its thing and produce a sound, and like maybe I'm tweaking something. He's like, and eventually I get to a point where like, oh, I have a melody, and I love this melody, and he can like really build on it, which I think is really cool. Okay, so I would love to get into like some of your final thoughts. Like, how would you wrap this album with a bow, if you even can? I will say that, at least for me, this album was really transformative. It was a new era for James Blake in his music. He was finally done with his major record label. He was moving in a direction that I felt was like more centering himself and his music, and his connection with his fans, and really trying to make a holistic experience out of being a musician, which I really loved and appreciated. There were hardly any lyrics, which was really different for me as a big James Blake fan. I'm a really big fan of his lyrics, be it on his own records or if he's writing for somebody else. So having this experience with this album that was just like I've been saying on some Bibu Babu shit, like it really transformed me as a listener, and I feel like it made it that much more easier for me to digest music that sounds like this, which I'm really grateful for. So how did you guys, experience the album towards the end?
Are we doing ratings too?
Oh yeah, sure.
So what would be your rating on this?
I would give this album a 10 out of 10.
Woo!
No, again, like I think coming back to it the second time, or well, not the second time, coming back to it in this year and like for this album club, I had a new and even more appreciation for it. Again, this is music that I love to hear to like decompress, calm down, and just overall relax. So like some of these songs lyrically, because I always say like when I listen to albums the first time around, it's really production and like sound that I'm listening for. The lyrics come like within the third listen or like the fourth listen and stuff. So to come back to listen to it for this club, really the focus this time were the lyrics. So I wound up having a newfound appreciation for the things he was saying on this album and how it relates to the beats and like the production and the modular synthesizers as we so have graciously highlighted. But
SAT word.
all that to say, I rate this album a 9 out of 10.
Wow, that's really high.
Yeah, I only have one skip. I mean, not a skip, but like one.
Big Hammer?
Yeah, it's not a favorite of mine. But I love the vision. I have to be in the mood for it. I
get it.
But I like it within the context of the album.
Yeah.
But it's just you got to be in the
takes you out of
specific.
your, like,
it takes
space
me out of your
in the album,
element.
yeah.
And I like music like that in general. But like I feel like it's surrounded by music that doesn't sound like that. And normally I'm used to the other way around where there's music that sounds not all like that, and then there's not that one soft, sweet spot. Like it would basically be the I just want you to like that part. Like that would be like the small part, but everything else surrounding it is beautiful here. But again, for me, the instrumentals are like my bread and butter on this album.
Okay, hell yeah.
It's funny though, because I'm pretty sure he plays Big Hammer like on DJ sets. Like I'm pretty sure that's his go-to song.
Tell me, Fall Back, and that I think would go crazy.
Like live, absolutely, like
crazy
at a DJ party or
hell yeah,
EDM party, absolutely.
I saw Playing Robots into Heaven live. It
Wow,
crazy.
I should have went. I was going through it. I was going through it at the end of 2023.
My God,
like,
I too.
yeah, I was going through it, bro.
With my ex to this concert, he's welcome.
Oh, there you go. See,
that's the high end.
there you
I
go.
took him to the concert. It's like not at all his sound, and then he actually seemed to really enjoy it.
That's awesome.
That's real.
If I could chime in really quick, like I went into this like going to listen to the music and like liking the music, and I ended up like liking James Blake, which is like really interesting.
I can resonate with that.
That's our goal.
I think his influences are incredibly intriguing to create the sound that he's creating, right? And I think I wrote it in the chat, right? Like I hear elements of Stevie Wonder and Intervisions?
Yeah.
I hear elements of him being influenced by D'Angelo's Devil's Pie, right? I hear his UK roots in Big Hammer, and then funny enough, right? Like I put like a whole bunch of his albums into a queue, and I started to get elements of the songwriting so I could understand the songwriting here. And I noticed that he was inspired by the greatest Canadian songwriter ever, which is not Drake, it's Joni Mitchell.
Yeah.
Joni Mitchell.
Yeah. Nah, you had my blood pressure raising for a second, but then I'm like, there's no way he's gonna be.
No. And Joni Mitchell is from like somebody that loves poetry.
Did not know she was Canadian.
Oh,
I'm embarrassed to not notice she wasn't Canadian either. I'm not.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I know why you don't like Joni Mitchell.
I really like Joni Mitchell. Why do you think I don't like?
Oh, there's some things that.
Put a pin in that.
Nah, yeah, we're gonna talk about that offline. We'll take this offline.
I don't even like folk music, but the first time that I ever heard her was at the 2024 Grammys, and she performed. I was like, who is this elderly
legend.
white
She's a
woman.
legend. She never lied.
Singing a song.
Joni Mitchell never lied, brother.
And when I tell you her music is incredible, and to like hear her influencing James Blake is insane.
I could actually hear that.
Yes,
And Carole King too.
and it was an incredible palate cleanser. Like for me, like it was a great transition into other music. Like first and foremost, like I like it completely rewired how I listen to music. The same thing that you said, and it also reconnected me to other music that I loved in different ways. Right. So like I have a newfound appreciation for Magic Jordan. I've loved Melochronica by Boss and the Hicks. I love that album even more because of James Blake. So there's a lot of other artists that like I can name off the top, but like for me personally, because it's still new for me, like I can't give it a 10 out of 10, but I'll give it an 8 out of 10, which is like pretty great. Like for a new, it's pretty high for like never hearing James Blake ever in my life.
Yeah.
So
And hearing this album for the first time. So
yeah, I agree.
listen to Assume Form.
I give it a 7 out of 10, and I mean I think that's a great score. I think that the curveball at first was something that I wasn't expecting, but the more I listened to it, the more I ended up liking it, you know, and especially the standout songs that I spoke about before. Like I said, there are some songs that I do skip past, just a
Can I
few
ask
though.
which one?
I don't even remember their titles.
Okay.
That's
Damn,
how
that's
much I
real.
don't. I don't listen to them. But the ones that I did name, really did sit with me. So yeah, I gotta give it a 7.
I'm probably also going to give it a 7. Now, I will say, like, the tracks that stand out to me, like, really doing, there's, like, a lot of layers to it. And I think that is an album that you need a lot of time with to have it, like, grow on you. And granted, like, as Adam said, as Flo said, like, 7 is a great score. Like, that's, like, you're above the echelon of, like, you know what I'm saying, of even good, honestly. This is something I'll probably return to. I got a song saved and everything. It's a matter of, like, and this is, like, the challenge when you have, like, more ambient, space-filling, like, kind of, like, albums is that, like, it's hard to kind of distinguish track by track. Like, there's not too many. Where I'm like, oh yeah, that's that song. Besides, like the songs I already knew going into this, and so that's like kind of a challenge with this album. It's kind of like, unless it comes across on a playlist, it may be hard for me to recollect like some of the songs because it does kind of blend in and mesh a
That makes
little bit too much. There's not too much of a distinct identity between each song unless you're looking for it, which is like super exciting, and it is something I will probably like like. If I'm like focusing or it's like when I'm in a certain headspace, I'll probably return to. But like it's definitely a very interesting like experiment for him. And considering like that he assembled it from a bunch of other like production blurbs that he made throughout the years and like made an album like this, I think that's actually very impressive. Then you should get his like flowers for that. But yeah, I appreciated this a lot more than I thought I would be before when you picked it. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm actually really happy about that.
I would give it like an 8. It's grown to an 8.
Wow.
It's grown to an 8.
And you said you don't really like electronic music like
I
that.
don't like electronic music, but
Neither do I. I understand.
because the discussion that we're having and because us being the group of friends that we are, like I've learned to kind of like digest music a little bit differently over the past like year. So like I've really like tried and I locked in with this. Like I don't know how many plays I took to this album, how many listens, but to your point where you said that you can't distinguish, I can hear like 0.2 seconds of any given song and I can tell you like oh that's that
this
song.
one. That's this
Like,
one.
yeah,
I'm with you.
And also,
it's hard. It was hard to do.
I don't think it's bad if it blends in.
No, it's
like,
not
Yeah,
bad.
I don't think it's bad if it blends
But
in. I
I'm
think
saying
it's a
like
preference, though.
just going off
Yeah.
of like,
Matt, you need to fight back right now. They jumping you. They jumping you.
Nah, like
I
it's
joke,
like,
I joke.
no. As Paris said, it is like a preference thing. There's some
Yeah.
like artists that people like really take to, like y'all mentioned, like Magic Jordan and stuff like that. And a bunch of other artists in that more ambient space, and I think James Blake is like better than a lot of people, like in the R&B / like his lane. He's like one of
Oh,
the best.
hell yeah.
Like,
hell yeah, I
do
get
not
that.
mistake anything.
Yeah.
Like he's like when his career is all said, that's gonna go down to history books. Like
Yeah.
he's like one of the most prolific songwriters of the entire modern era, and that's not like just a fanboy saying. This is like somebody that is even like a super fan. But like is like a me thing where it's kind of like if like I can't really distinguish the songs personally, like it's kind of hard for me to like pick them apart. It feels too much like I have to hear the whole album as an experience, and less like the songs could all stand on their own.
Yeah.
This is what I kind of look for in some albums, but that's not everybody. Some people can just like go in, put it on for an hour vibe, and just kind of like treat it as its own individual space, and that also has its own space as a body of work too for albums that do that. So it's like this is a preference thing.
Yeah, no, and that's totally respectable.
Yeah.
I felt like for me to like get into this album, I had to like go in like track by track and like really like listen to like every freaking sound, because it's really more production than anything. Like the lyrics, as impactful as they may have been, came like way.
You gotta look
way
him up,
down
bro.
the
He got
road.
like vocoders on his voice and stuff.
Like, my brain is
Yeah.
still broken about the editor thing, because I'm spinning so many different like narratives of that editor
I love that.
question that I don't think I'm satisfied yet. I'm like,
I love that. Actually
Please
love
do
that.
share all of your
Absolutely.
developments because I really love this. Computer.
No.
This will be live on our Patreon.
8 is my score. 8 is my score, and I think that's, for me to give this an 8 is like huge.
Okay, I'll say one last thing about this album. I'm really impressed by how James Blake can create an album like this, which has been like a collage, and I think he even used the word collage of like work that he has done throughout like almost a decade, and like found himself like ready to move on to make an album like Trying Times. So it was just like, you know, I have all of these songs, I just want to put them together and like make this album. And I think he made it in a cohesive way, which I think speaks a lot to the way that he puts himself in his music constantly. I think always using such a healthy masculinity. I loved his interview with Brian Enzo, where he's talking a lot about masculinity in a way that I thought was just really beautiful and profound. He's just like, you know, like you're kind of like not expected to be able to write lyrics like, I thought I'd never find my place, but I was wrong. And where I least wanted to look, it came along. Beautiful lyrics, beautiful album. This was from Assume Form, but generally just an incredible songwriter. And it was really great getting to share this album with you guys. It was really exciting. So thank you for taking the time to listen to it. And with that, I want to thank you guys for joining us and hearing us talk about this incredible album. Please do join us next time for which album? It's Flo's turn.
Yeah. The next album will be Those Feels Again by Snow Allegra.
Shout out.
Nice.
Another woman album. Let's go.
I also want to ask, what are your ideal listening conditions? Headphones, no headphones, out loud? Where should we be? What's the mood?
I mean, honestly, both. Maybe, you know, we all got some wine on the table. Maybe sip a little bit of wine, get that going. I feel like listen to it. I feel like when you're comfortable, right? Because it's not like you out with the windows down type vibes. Like listen to it when you're like in the crib, relaxing, and just where you can really hear what she's talking about and listen to the music, the production. Like it's A1.
What's the album cover? I can't remember.
It's her face.
And it has like in parentheses, I believe.
Is it gray and black?
Yeah.
Is it the gray and black album?
Yes. Not the one that's like Y2K looking.
Mean slick
Okay.
back.
Okay, I gotta double check. Because one of the albums I heard was like good barbecue music, but
Oh, that's the second one. That's the second one.
Okay,
yeah.
got you.
Thank you so much for listening. And remember, don't consume music. Let music consume you.
Yes, sir.